So in this video we're going to cover some building of stopes from the block model, and then doing a couple of rings for a drill blast ring layout for a long hole or a Voca stope. Now what I'm going to do is bring in a couple of levels, bring in the block model, build a very quick wireframe indicating where my mineralization is. And then after I've built that, I'm going to give it a name, do an evaluate on it, get my tons and grade, things like that. And when that's finished, I'm going to put in a slot and then do a couple of rings so you can see how quickly we can turn that information into something that can be used by the miners. So first thing I want to do is let's bring in a couple of levels. So I'm just going to grab a couple of levels here. So I have it set to automatically split my screen. And I'm going to do a stope over in this area. So first thing I want to do is bring in the block model in this area so I know where I'm dealing with. So first thing I want to do is get an elevation for that. So it's 827, but let's actually set my Z, my working elevation, to that. And then I'm just going to go over here to geology, my geology module, and I'm going to bring in, there's the elevation, so I'm going to bring in roughly 20 meters of blocks. So it's going to bring in a fair number of blocks in that area. So I'm cutting through the entire block model and just bringing in elevation 828 and above and below that. So you can see the area I brought in. Not quite. I want to go a little higher. It's because I want to have my blocks up here. So let me just query what the midpoint is right here. So 843. So let's bring in 840 and bring that data in. See where, if we have the block model information that I brought in. It's always there. It's not like the block model is not going to be attached. Let me go up a little higher. Yeah, the block model is always attached. The only difference is that I just want to visualize it. I want to see visually what I'm looking at. I could have increased my thickness too, which would bring it in. There we go. So now I've got blocks sitting from here up. So what I want to do now is I just want to get this level by itself with all the blocks. The text is flipped. Let me just refresh this. And the blocks are color coded based on grade. Alright, now you can see I've got all my block information in. Problem is it's hard to read it. So what I want to do is filter this down a little bit. So I'm just going to use my clip tools here, and I'm just saying this view. I want to see from here down to here. There, that's better. Okay. So let's go and extract. Ooh, there's some good grade. So let's go, we're going to take this area here, and I want to draw a shape indicating the bottom of my stope. So I would normally, if we're doing retreat drilling, I would go up here. So let's go up to this area here. I'm going to extract this area here. So first thing I want to do is draw what I want to extract. So I'm going to do a quick P line, and I don't want any snap because I want it at that elevation. So I'm just going to go here, and now I'm just going to trace. So this is the shape I'm going to extract. Close that. So let's see what the distance is. So that's roughly 20 meters. So if I select that, come over on this side, let's see where I'm at. So I'm right there. So next thing I want to do is I want to take this shape and I want to copy it up to this elevation here. So let's just, I'm just going to physically grab it Just going to say copy, put on my ortho, and I'm just physically going to drag it up. I don't want to snap. Right around there. Right. Next, I'm going to set my Z to that object, like so. So there's the shape. Now you can see it's the mineralization's moved, so I'm just going to move this and turn my ortho off. So right about here. And I'm going to change the shape to more closely reflect where my mineralization is. So I can just take and stretch it. Right? It's straight AutoCAD, so it doesn't matter if I'm draw it exactly on it, because it's very easy to add new vertexes and change my shape. Whoops, grab there. Okay, so that's the new shape. So now I've got my two shapes. I'm done with my block model for now, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Now I'm not removing the block. All I'm doing is removing the blocks that are visualized. So now I want to basically mesh the two objects together. So I'm going to turn my clip off so I can see both. And I'm just going to use our wireframe tool and tag this one and this one. So there's the shape that I want to extract. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to give it a name. I want to treat it as a single object so I can query it. So I'm just going to call this stope 1, tag it. Oh, I'm going to make sure I get the back on the floor. There. And there. Right click. So now it's tagging this to the SQL database. So I can now query this shape, get a tons and grade. So I can optimize my shape to give me the best grade and whatnot on that shape. So I can optimize what I'm going to extract, what I'm going to leave in the way of pillars and whatnot. Alright, so I've tagged that. Now I'm just going to quickly query it. I'm not using a cutoff, I'm just going to grab it like so. So in this case, I'm getting 38,000, almost 39,000 tons of ore, of mineralization, and it's grading at about 3% copper equivalent. So now that I've done that, I can now use this shape to build my drill blast sequence. So I'm done with my stope for now. I'm just gonna let's stick that on a layer. Let me add a new layer here. So just add a layer called stope. And I want to turn it off. I want to give it a blue color, something like that. Okay. And I'm just going to take this stope and I'm going to move it onto that stope layer so it'll disappear, which is what I wanted. I'm done with these two shapes. I can leave them on or not, it doesn't really matter. So next I want to put in my slot. So my slot, I can either put it in the middle, either end, it doesn't matter. So this will be video number 1, so I'm just going to stop this one. And then we'll go on to actually laying out a ring using section cutting.